All right. Actually, I have something I gotta talk about, which sucks. Ironically, I haven't even dropped the Charlie Kirk response video because it's just been kind of rough and yeah. Um, and now I gotta talk about this. Um, Reverend Voddie Bauchum passed. Luckily, luckily, it was just the Lord calling him back in a non-brutal way. Uh, I'm not even sure specifically of the details, but it's not like it was any type of criminal act or something like that. But it doesn't make the loss any less severe. Um, it it's kind of crazy. I've been searching for you know a path towards a relationship with God, an understanding of my relationship with God for a number of years, and the individual that I've leaned on the most that I found, both of which I got to see live. I actually met uh, Charlie, but as you'll see in the little clip I'll have attached, I was in the front row of um, Jason Whitlock's event 2.0 um, when Vodi was there, and one of the big reasons that I went, made the effort to get down there, was because I wanted to see him speak and be in his presence when he spoke. Because he meant that much to me in what I was trying to search for. I think someone said it today. I was watching a video. As he was like a professor, when he spoke calm, and it wasn't all quote unquote fire and brimstone style, which, to be honest with you, I love too. But he spoke in such a way that me, without the education in biblical education, I understood, and he broke it down in such a way that made it accessible to me, because that's where I struggle, is under actually understanding the word. I just found out the other day, I was this old, you know, when I found out that the specific version of the Bible will help me understand it, because it's written more. I've gone straight with the King James version, and just difficult to understand. But anyways, um, Vodi made that easy, and the only solace is, like one gentleman I saw say, is to know that he's with our Father, and to know he's up there and with Jesus and Charlie, and looking down and talking about, look what's happening, look what revival's happening, and both feeling whole in their hearts, knowing that they're major contributors to this change that's happening, and hopefully the awakening uh, globally. But a little bit selfish here in America, wake up. Um, and that's from someone who it's complicated. I can't wait to get some of my story out there. I've got a few books in the works, but I've been searching for my faith now for probably 10 years. I've been looking the last 5 or 6. I've really been letting it try and guide me, but still feeling like I'm so wholly insufficient. Um, but it's these latest people that I have had an opportunity to interact with, that now I feel like I'm a coward if I don't get out there and start speaking up about, and doing what I'm doing. And I mean, look, I'm just trying to do a little piece of something so I can build a little more value in myself, so I can create a few projects that will create money, so I can get other projects going, all to benefit veterans, local communities, and ultimately the U.S. to bring back some infrastructure, which, follow me, you'll see what I'm talking about there. But so we're on a path, and I think that's what, as soon as I heard Bodie had passed, it was the first thing that was ringing in my ears is, don't forget, we all have our own way of spreading the word and contributing to God's message. Um, we're not all the same, because look what we just lost. The difference, but yet the same, between Charlie and Vodi. And instead of feeling lost at that moment, I felt like I understood. message. I said I wasn't gonna do this. Not gonna. Nope. Stop. That reminds me of a song. I'll see if I can get the title on here. By Dak. And one of the verses is the gentleman says that he's not ashamed of crying because Jesus wept, so can you. I think there's a difference in weeping for evil and being a crybaby, but at the same time, they're probably not too far away. But anyways, back on track. So yeah, it's time to get out there, and at the same time, I'm getting ready, and I wasn't planning on fully exposing myself in some ways, getting online. Obviously, you could overexpose yourself. I'm getting ready, and I put on this shirt this is in tribute to Vodi, because like I said, I went down to this event. One large reason to see him speak, and to meet and see Anthony Walker, and Pastor Anthony Walker, who, once I get some finances more steady and I get a little more capable, I'm hoping to actually drive the time it takes to get to where he is here in Tennessee, to listen to him on a weekly basis. But again, got diverted. But I'm putting this shirt on, and I look in the mirror at it, and this isn't vanity with the things rolled up here. It's because I've got little T-Rex arms, and this shirt is for the size I need. The arms look ridiculously long, I think. And it's hot as heck here still in Tennessee. Yeah, God blessed me with a mind that's not afraid of conflict and willing to fight for things, a mouth that's certainly willing to back that up. But he also blessed me with these little T-Rex arms. So, but anyways, I'm looking in the mirror. You'll understand in a second why that came up. And the voice I heard in my head was, "Oh, good, you're going to go ahead and tell everyone." And then I knew right then, I was like, okay, well, I guess I am exposing myself a little more. It's not really exposing. It shouldn't be made to feel like that. I guess that's one of the biggest problems with what's going on, is it's made to feel like that, when men should just be able to talk about this and get the help they need. In my struggles for the last number of years, I started finding all the research about the TRT program and what happens to men with low testosterone levels and some of the causes of it. And one of the studies, I can't cite the study right now, but you can find it, is that veterans are the largest group of men as a whole that have low testosterone. Well, they're getting that from the disabled veteran group because that's the records they have, so because regular veterans that don't have disabilities don't go into their system, so therefore they wouldn't have their records. So by fact, that's who they're dealing with. Well, there's been some studies in the coalition between long-term trauma, both physical and mental, attacking the testosterone levels of men. And one of the reasons I'm bringing that up is because the VA needs to be more responsive to that, but I'll get back to that. So over the years, I looked at that. I mean, even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, as a 100% service-connected disabled vet who struggles month to month to keep things going at that time, it was financial difficult to do the things I needed to get on a testosterone replacement program. And I need a drink of water here. It's hot out here. And when I did, I felt fairly good. I admit my problem was I was squeamish about the shot, my flexibility to get where I thought the only place I had to do it was, all that, bunch of excuses, whatever. But I did feel like it was helping when I stayed on it, which wasn't long enough. And then I just went away from it. Well, my numbers, to get back to, I guess, what the point of this is, my numbers at that time were the ones that collected together they need. I was going through Peter Med online. My numbers are 249. Now, a male in my age bracket should be somewhere between, I've seen 800 to 1,000, I've seen 1,000 to 1,200, but up in that range, and mine was 249. So I went with it, and I went with that. They said immediately, yes, you're qualified. Well, once I got with that, I immediately started checking with the VA. It's like, hey, if my testosterone is this low, this is probably a big issue with what I've got going on with my disability. Other connections I'm not going to get into, but they're very connected to the what it is, the problems from having low testosterone. Uh, and how can we try and fix other things by throwing medicines at it and all this if we're not willing to just get a man back to the point where he's internally correct so he can heal properly? Because that's been my issue, and the doctors literally threw their hands up and like, I don't know, on me, and just left me there with the fact that they can't understand why I'm not healing after all these years, because it's been 3, 4, even 5 years now since my last surgery. My knee just won't heal. Well, my testosterone has been so low, I haven't been able to heal. And that's the studies I'm seeing really correlates that. So, and the reason I'm bringing this all up, and the reason I was told to, is because my idea behind it that I had discussed with God was, I believe this is a really big key for a lot of men in general, but definitely veterans. And the VA needs to be better, because they require you to be under 200 to get any care whatsoever. In some cases under 100, and all of the research I can do on using the multiple AI platforms points out the large number of problems that you have dealing with them, because they're inconsistent with how they dole it out, and different things like that. But that's ridiculous. If we're trying to go to a whole health like the VA is claiming that they want to, then we need to be looking at all of health. And right now there is a lot of concrete research that has been done about the TRT benefits. And again, the reason it was right now that I got that, okay, time to talk, because I'm not in horrible shape. But you know what? I've taken, 2 weeks off or so. But I work 3 to 4 days a week hard at the gym. I mean, not to brag, because damn, I'm small and it's horrible. But I work hard enough that some of the young guys kind of give me that nod of, oh, all right, I see you, old man, which is kind of funny, being that old that I get that. But whatever. My point is, I work that hard, and I have everything I can do to maintain any type of strength. I can't rebuild any muscle. I can't grow to help, like, grow shoulder muscles, so therefore I can support my shoulders, which are damaged. I can't do the extra growth I need to do the rehabilitation. So I'm not going to change my routine as far as I work out. I'm going to work out the same level I did before, as consistent. I guess unless I get drawn in by the fact that it's working so well, but hopefully that's the case. But I'm going to be starting up at the beginning of this month, the TRT program. Again, through Peter Med. I'm paying for it myself because I believe it's important to get going and get myself right. But I have made contact with my VA primary care to make sure that he knows I'm starting it, where I'm starting from. My numbers went down to 201, where I'm starting from, and I'm going to have him track it so that then I have a larger case connected to my VA file, so I can then advocate, fight for, hopefully initiate some change in the way we deal with that for veterans, and allow this for us, because you would eliminate so many other medicines and so much money we're spending if you just allow them to use the testosterone and have their bodies heal themselves. So, all right. But yeah, that's great. Just told the entire internet my testosterone's low. But it's important veterans have access to this type of care. And if someone doesn't speak up and do the pieces along the way and you know what? Seems like I just watched Vivek this morning. He says, I could have called Google and all of them privately, but I think it's better to just put it out there. You know what? That's the thing. And shout out to Vivek. That's a great idea. I can't wait to work with you in the future like we spoke with before. But we need someone to put it out there and actually put the entire process out there. The internet is a great way to do it. So that's what I'm doing. Is I'm going to be following here. I mean, this shirt is something I can always use as a guide. This is what I look like right now. Let's see what benefits I'm getting, and then when we happen to go, all right, here's a clip of time. Let's put those pictures side by side. It's not about getting a certain physique. It's not about being vain, but I just want to see having the same lifestyle, the same. I'm also working hard to get carnivore, and that's more of a money thing, being able to stay carnivore. Excuse me. Again, it's hot out here. Staying carnivore. And that's probably the only reason I have it's definitely the reason I'm in better shape right now after even working towards the carnivore than I have been in a long time, as far as body fat amounts. But I'm going to, healthy eating, it's all that. Again, that's just part of, I want to do everything healthy and options and stuff before I start putting more medicines in me. But I've got to move on from, some of the stuff that still lingers, and they just want to throw medicine at me. And I just don't believe that's right. So I'm going to document how I'm doing it and put myself out there to hopefully in the future help others and just kind of push the process to get that help for others. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But hey, let me get back to doing this woodworking. And right now I'm just kind of doing some random stuff. I don't know just how much I'm going to push on doing the content of me making crafts. I'm going to try, but I'm also trying to get my books, get my books rolling, to get some things documented. So hopefully I'll have time to do all those things at once. But if you see one of the videos, pop it up, because I got to use the same channel to do both the woodworking and follow this, because I think it's the best way. It's a patriotic channel. You know what? This is a big issue. I mean, I'm doing woodworking to help myself move forward, keep my mental health right, kind of give myself a little bit extra, and that's going to be nothing but help by getting my T levels right and bringing back all kinds of things, confidence, swagger. And you know what? That matters if you're an entrepreneur and you're kind of going out there and you have to be forward facing. You got to have a little bit of that swagger, positive, not ego, but, so let me get out of here right now, but and get back to what I'm doing over here. So, but that's where I'm at. So, God bless you. Be the